Me and Gavin will be here at 2 o'clock now.
The news. We used to trust it. If it was on screen or in print, we believed it. But a few years ago, the lies online started to look really realistic. Phony news websites with convincing-looking stories shared by your friends on social media. The fake news era was born. And once we'd all become aware that fake news was a thing, the term spread and the meaning blurred.
The fake news.
Fake news. Fake news.
Fake news. Fake. Fake. You have to leave that word.
We have a lot of political actors that have been weaponizing the term fake news to discredit any kind of media that they don't think is favorable.
I'm not going to give you a question. Can you stay categorical? You are fake news.
The social media platforms are trying to spot and block fake news websites. But the problem is, a lot of the time, the lies are woven in with truths and opinion. It's just all too hazy.
There are headlines that are actually truthful, but then maybe the information doesn't match it. So there's really many different layers. So misinformation is not just that one big lie that is being spread with a big headline, but there's a lot of things that are more nuanced.
Fake news is used and referenced for many reasons: to destabilise, to create doubt in the mainstream media. But in Eastern Europe, it's always been about the money. 18 months ago, Carl Miller visited Kosovo to research the fake news industry there. And now, as part of the BBC's fake news season, we've sent him back to see how Facebook's war on fake news has changed the landscape.
The thing that really intrigues me about Kosovo is that this is the youngest country in Europe. It's got one of the best internet connections in Europe. And the internet is really seen as one of the main drivers to gain access to international markets and work.
18 months ago, these factors meant that Kosovo's fake news industry was bustling. But after the social media clampdown, what, if anything, has actually changed?
It's wild these days. It's wild, yes, because a lot of people make a lot of money.
My journey begins meeting Gaz. It is hard to get fake news merchants to speak on camera, but Gaz says after several years he's now given it up. But he certainly seems to be well plugged into the scene. Here he is showing me an invitation-only closed group on Facebook, where fake news merchants swap and sell and trade secrets.
This is a starter pack for fake news.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm told that up to 40% of Kosovan youth are involved in fake news.
Who could be a fake news merchant?
Everyone who owns and knows how to use a computer.
Do you have to be like technically savvy? Do you have to know how to code?
Not really.
Even to get around all of kind of Facebook's detection techniques?
Most of these fake news merchants copy, paste these stories, you know.
Gaz tells me the scene is still very active. But as Facebook has clamped down, the focus of fake news merchants has started to shift. The way you make money like this online is to get as many people as possible clicking on your content. The more clicks, the more you can make from it. Platforms like Facebook can pay you for your clicks internally, but you can also get paid by taking people to external websites where, again, how much you get from ads is based on the size of your audience. Before the clampdown, the best way of getting the clicks was pushing out fake news, but since then, many people spreading fake news have started to weaponize other content. Fake news merchants have now morphed into clickbait merchants. This could still mean posting fake and misleading stories, but it increasingly means posting pictures of scantily clad women, flashy cars, or celebrity gossip, anything really which gets eyeballs, even when it's obviously untrue. I have heard there are thousands of people scattered around Kosovo making money like this. But it's all very secretive. Eventually, one such successful clickbait merchant agreed to talk to me. I had to travel out of Pristina in the dead of night to meet him.
The easiest trick is to have a page that you know is going to sell more because you know it's going to be clicked on, but you don't actually know what's being shared. In this group, say I have a page with 300,000 likes, I put up a price of 1,300 to 1,400 euros. It all depends on what kind of audience I have. If my page fans are from the US, top USA, the price will be double because pay-per-click is better for that audience.
As a first step to growing audiences, he opens multiple Facebook accounts with fake IP addresses.
Yes, I can open 10 tonight with different IPs. Some will get shut down, some not. It depends how well you can cheat Facebook, really.
So do you spoof IPs?
We change our IPs so that we don't all open accounts from the same address, because otherwise Facebook will spot it and shut them down.
And then he adds eye-catching content to get the clicks in.
There are different ways. We sponsor ads and open fake profiles, mostly of girls, and then we like pages with these profiles. And we'll also share the pages among the pages we already have.
So you like grow a new page by linking it to one of your more mature pages, and when that's got to a big enough size you might sell it?
Yeah, that's how it works. For instance, I have a page with cars that has 200 to 300,000 likes. When I posted the new page I'm trying to grow it on, I can easily get 10,000 likes. In just an hour or two I can get 2,000 or 3,000 likes from that original posting.
And there's a lot of money to be made from this.
I have a page about cars with 100 or 120,000 likes. I bring that onto my Facebook page, and with that audience I can earn $50 to $60 a day.
With several such sites, it comes to hundreds of dollars a day compared to, say, the average salary of $300 a month. There's absolutely little wonder that this is happening on an industrial scale throughout Kosovo.
Would you recommend that career for young people now?
Yes, of course. For anyone who can get around and understand this world, it's worth it. You'll never be broke.
I came back to Pristina to see more about what's going on under the bonnet of the fake news industry. The Facebook closed groups that Gad showed me was where the buying and selling of pages and audiences was all happening.
He's selling Facebook pages, thousands of followers.
Here he's showing me a Facebook page with 189,000 likes that is up for sale, but you can also place orders. This person is asking for a website that will generate daily traffic of 10,000. But all this buying and selling of pages with huge audiences, or false accounts, of fake likes, of fake IP addresses, it's all against Facebook's rules, and this community knows how to work around the system.
And so this is constantly happening. These groups are shut down and start up again, shut down and start up again.
Yes, because, you know, these people know each other, so they work together again, you know, inviting people, those who are interested. People know each other, you know.
And there are strong norms against speaking out, which is why they're so secretive. Ironically, it's the weapon of fake news itself that is used against anyone who betrays the group.
Yes, they can report me to Facebook. They could say, hack my page, post fake news, and if they present a convincing justification, Facebook believes them.
Because in the end this is all about the money. Big money. And while for now Facebook does seem to have slowed the tide of fake news from here, as long as our appetite for misinformation remains, there are plenty from around the world ready to feed it.
Wow, that was Carl. This is Carl. What a fascinating story. What are your impressions of the people doing this that you met over there? It seems to me a bit like a startup kind of culture.
They are. I mean, they're young, they're dynamic, they're entrepreneurial, they're out there finding opportunities, and they're not monsters. I mean, they're doing something which is wrong and can have really harmful consequences for all of us, but they're also doing something which is actually giving them, for once in their lives, a decent living. Also, in their eyes, you know, they often think, well, this clickbait kind of says more about us than it does about them. I mean, they're simply trying to share us the content which we click on.
So the motivation is obvious. They can make a lot more money than they can doing other jobs, but ultimately they are doing something which does no good. I mean, it is all the nasty stuff at the end of the web page that, you know, we're invited to click on. So are there opportunities for these people to use their skills in a better way?
there are far too few opportunities for them to use their skills in any other way. So I've kind of began to see kind of fake news and clickbait, at least in the context of Kosovo, as a bit like a kind of cash crop of poppies. You know, it's something that doesn't do any good to the people that grow it, it doesn't do any good to us, the consumers, but for them it's just the easiest and most accessible way of actually making a living. And you don't get rid of that problem just by burning the fields. You also get rid of the problem by giving the farmers, in this case the clickbait merchants, you give them something else better to do.
What do you make of the Facebook reforms themselves? You know, the impact on those people and also how effective they've been?
I mean, I think Facebook has been wielding a sledgehammer. I think just the worry is that it might not be hitting quite the right places. I mean, for sure, and time again I heard that, you know, group after group have been shut down. Facebook has been very active here. They're really trying to close the industry down. But often I don't think they've discriminated themselves between groups which are sharing fake news and other groups which are simply sharing perfectly legitimate forms of content which they want people to click on, which frankly is what lots of people do all over the place.
Do you think this is just an ongoing battle and, you know, Facebook closes down one method and these people just move to another and it's this cat and mouse game that will go on and on and on?
I mean, yes, I do. I mean, the most surprising thing to me was to find a kind of surface sector economy for fake news merchants. And as soon as you have that, as soon as you have specialists, you have programmers and coders, well, then you get innovation. And that means that the tools that are being sold in these groups are constantly changing. And as Facebook brings in one reform, well, they bring out new tools and techniques and tips to try and get around it. So it is an arms race, it really is. And one that I'm not sure that Facebook will ever really be able to prevail in. I simply think that it's one they're going to have to manage.
Carl, fascinating job. Thank you.
Thanks.